Yeah, love the product, used it a long time and seen its evolution to the current point now. Hi, I'm Craig Thornton, head of PE at a school in Northwest Leeds. Been there now for 28 years. St Mary's is a Catholic secondary school. It's part of the Bishop Wheeler Academy Trust. It's got around about 1,300 students, a sixth form body of around about 200 students. Obviously Key Stage 3 and 4, Year 7 through to 11, mixed school, lovely school. Just love everything about PE and all the innovations and how we keep moving forward with the subject. So I'm massively passionate about taking PE forwards and the benefits it brings to not only individuals but society as a whole. So prior to the EverLearner and my PE exam, it was always a constant seeking out materials for students to use and access to sort of bring to life that independent learning, because the classroom environment to a good practitioner should be second nature. It should be very easy to talk, discuss, question and answer, differentiate the learning within the room. That's all fine, but it's when you're looking for that deeper understanding to embed their knowledge so they can then apply to a myriad of different situations, and it's making that independent study easier for them to access. So it was a forever searching on Google, finding images, trying to make a PowerPoint slide without the answers, etc., for them to then investigate, inquire about the topic. So prior to that, it was a lot of cut and paste, I guess, off Google, making those resources that are accessible to all in your classes, and that was a real challenge in terms of putting different theories across. It might be the blood flow, cardiovascular system, which year on year students struggle with, and it's trying to adapt those resources to target your sort of higher, middle, lower ability students. So I guess prior to the EverLearner, yeah, it was hassle, but that's what it was. We knew it else. I like the resilience part of it, and for me it works. Whether it highlights a student can't access it and they quit after 2 attempts, then you can see that online, then you can have that question that you've not gone back and challenged it a third time, for example. So it does promote good conversations from them perhaps struggling and then going back and revisiting, and then you've got your really resilient learners that will go back and take it on umpteen times. Obviously a massive strength, I think, of the EverLearner is the information that you've got accessible at your fingertips, in terms of duration they've spent studying, so the time they've spent answering, and then data's for data's sake for me. I only want numbers if I'm actually going to use them. It's a bane of my life in terms of education itself. We get lots of numbers and it's actually, what is the power of this number? What's it going to affect? And for me, that's one of the most powerful tools I've got. I can almost see your study style through your number of attempts or time spent. Because one of the good ones for me is where it shows they've cut corners. So lots of students try and take the tutorial test before they've taken the tutorial, and then when questioned, why have you gone for it? Well, I thought I know the answers. And I said, well, you're not prepared for the test. So for me, it promotes a more studious conversation, I guess, individual. I think from a teaching point of view, so in terms of me as a subject lead, in terms of having almost an insight into the classroom without going into the classroom, and not to big brother check up on anybody. People are professionals doing the job, and we all do it slightly different ways, and we all find our way, etc. But I guess from sort of a managerial point of view, it enables you to see where students are at. Are they in line with the current schemes of work, for example? Are they behind? And then obviously that promotes that dialogue. Why have you not moved on to diet and nutrition yet? The other two classes on diet and nutrition you've not picked have got there yet. So the A level, it was trying to find stuff online to bring to life real challenging topics. and then a few people online were doing little 5-minute YouTube clips, and it was basically, I guess, trial and error, just clicking around YouTube, trying to find people that have actually brought these topics to life. Because obviously, I'll teach it my way, someone else will teach it their way, and not every way hits every student. So I'm a big believer in sharing what I've got, breaking it down how I can in the classroom, and then showing students resources where to follow up. Because if I didn't make sense today, maybe if you watched this clip, this might make sense to you. For us in the classroom, we're limited even now to this day with the number of computers available in a classroom to go and use and search on. So I guess the positive power of the smartphone, the access is there, and it's for me, as I said right at the beginning, I'm never looking back in terms of, oh, I did it this way. I'm always trying to think, how can I make this easier? And I don't like students on the phone, but the phone is a powerful tool used in the right way. So giving them access and just that ability to maybe listen to my lesson again at home in a different style might make it sink in a little bit. So I guess YouTube, searching more stimulating topics, not stimulating topics, more graphical images plus conversation to support the content. And at that point, I guess 2008, 2010, around that time, the YouTube, the accessibility was there. So it was starting to think, yeah, I can make this part of my learning journey for the individual. Whether they do it or not, I'll never know because I'm not on the bus. But we get lots of our students bussed in, and they have a lot of time sat on the buses. And I'd like to think, well, definitely I know if people do because they've told me, but they can sit with their earphones in on the bus and actually do a little bit of work on the bus. So from that point of view, it's kind of productivity and trying to teach, life skills of using your time effectively. There's two for me. One is the boring Ofsted tick box list, which I totally disagree with, but progress over time. You can look at a student's work over the period of the course. So whether the GCSE runs for 2 years, you can look at the time, for example, that they've spent learning independently. You can see their test scores, particularly like the checkpoint test. So you can see that students revisited and improved a score. So in terms of us monitoring progress over time, I think it's just there. And I just think that's a massive non-discussion point. Nobody from any senior management team or Ofsted could challenge that. That hard objective evidence is there, and for me, that's kind of boring. Yeah, that ticks the correct boxes. The massive amount of time you can save. As a setting tasks, there are many reasons you've got to set independent learning. On the spot, you can set work for an entire class. You can differentiate the class notes, set different challenges for different students within the class. And you can do it all in under 5 minutes. If you're going on a course next week or whatever, you need to leave some work behind for students who the flexibility and freedom to just set tasks and monitor tasks is so easy. And then I love the alert calls for the students, the 48-hour and the 24-hour window of what's to do, and you can see who's working on it, who's not working on it, and again promotes that dialogue as to, oh, we've got 2 days to your deadline, you haven't done anything yet, what's going on? Even passing comments in corridors, for example. So I think that the speed at which you can get information to students that is directed to them personally, because you can obviously section off within a class of 30, you can set 10 different challenges within that class, and you can do it all within under 5 minutes. So the speed at which it can support your day-to-day work, for me, is the X factor. it's created a more independent classroom, because it gives that freedom within the class discussion, the class diagrams on the board, and it's right, let's take a moment to like that, right, let's just have a look at this in your own time. And like I said, we've not got access to the computers, but the students, 99% of them have got a smartphone. That does give it challenges. You're always going to, working with teenagers, some are not going to go on, they're going to go on Snapchat or try and do whatever until they get held accountable, and that's fine, but the vast majority just get on, and it creates a greater independence. And what I like in our classrooms is students' confidence to work independently. So for example, if we are reviewing a topic that they, for example, more or less perfectly 100% of the test, done all the online, it's pointless those going through that. So there might be 2 students in the entire class of 30 that have nailed it. They don't need to revisit this topic. And then it allows us as practitioners to say, well, actually, the next topic we're moving on to is energy systems. While we're reviewing levers, you take the tutorial, so they just pop their earphones in and they're working on the energy systems tutorials. And it creates, for me, a classroom that's continuously moving, as opposed to a student that finishes the work, I've done it, the rest are still getting on with it, and then it's so easy to go, right, bang, well done on that. I want you to take the tutorial on the next topic, I want you to take the test on it. So it creates that independent ownership. And for me, the greatest impact would be, I would say, a greater natural flow within a classroom, really accelerated independent learning. That would be my greatest impact.